Just reiterate what we've already touched on. You look beautiful. Bridesmaids, fantastic as well. I do like traditions, but tonight I'm already on a promise, so maybe brilliant service from the vicar. One slight hiccup, the microphone packed in. I didn't see him coming to Alex's rescue with microphone though. When the skirt arrived, I'll just pin that on your chest. What a wrong one, eh? What a wrong one. I wonder where Barnsley gets it from. Anyway, I've wrote a bit of a poem for Barnsley. I hope you all like poetry. So I'll start. Thank you for your attendance on this most joyous day. I'm sure you'll all agree such devotion and patience isn't handed out on a tray. Peter and Emma must have got something right to make it this far. I bet it's the hard work of the bride because the groom lives for the bar. I'd like to continue and give you an insight into the special mind of the Barnes. I'm sure, like many others, you'll be drawn in by his many simple charms. He's the type of geezer that can be witty and fun. He's also partial to a bit of female bum. I first met Peter through a mutual friend called Jay. I think it appropriate to raise a glass for absent friends today. Cheers all.
Cheers. Cheers.
We got on well from day one, and that since then our friendship and loyalty has shone. There's many a tale I can tell you today. All of it is vetted and not based on hearsay. There was one time when a young Peter Barnes got his leg stuck in a railing. It's a good job he was outside church, as the good Lord must have heard his bleating. The good vicar came rushing to the rescue. Such a shame some Victorian cast-iron fencing had to have sections withdrew. There was one time he started to dabble with an illegal substance, although his lack of brain power proved evidence in this instance. Upon seeing a steaming pot of fresh tea, he realised this wasn't the usual method of smoking pot when he went into a burnt lip frenzy.
Smoke pot.
We all know the difficulties he encountered after one large van crash, although there was another one which also ended in a bash. After seeing what he termed a fitty over on the path, he gave a little wave, lost control, and his delivery van became trash. He managed to go teetotal as the years went by. It's the tales of the beer soon after that really catch my eye. He once turned up at a barbecue as a non-drinker. He had to put to bed after 6, as that was the limit of his bender. In recent years, he rediscovered his joy of being drunk. Since then, he started his collection of beer-fueled drunk. He's picked up many taxi headrests on the way, although these are not his most possessions by some way. He once managed to fleece a stripper of her undergarments. If you're drunk, you'll agree this could be treated as brilliance. However, it would be good if the tale could end there. However, he got overconfident and couldn't help another suicidal dare. The security staff thought it was best to confront us. Mr. Barnes thought he'd hide with some other strippers. In the end, we got away with the telling off, and we survived the bouncers ticking off. As I've come to know him quite well, I've also learned his peculiarities as well. If I could offer any advice to Emma for the future, please keep him away from kettles, sinks and anything else that could be misunderstood as a pisser. I feel I must apologise for my language barraging. I only felt it right to introduce Emma to her future suffering. Emma still has much to learn about my nutty mate Barnes. I would suggest a visit to the chemist for a box of calms. The two lovebirds met when Peter began his hospital training. This was when he decided to start the chasing. Emma refuses advances for long enough. She's far too ladylike to allow Barnes to get her up the duff. Peter had to wait until all the training had finished. Now was his time to pounce, and the two flourished. Rob the dog also gave his approval to the situation by way of taking a whiz on Peter and greeting by way of urinification. Poor Emma has no idea what she's letting herself in for. Mr. Barnes, on the other hand, couldn't ask for more. By way of the simplest agreement witnessed before God and the vicar, he's gained a house, a car, and couldn't have done it better. I won't be impressed with that. Maybe Emma once thought he reminded her of the clever and witty comic Dara O'Brien, although not on intellect, as the mind of the Barnes is more coal-fired trained. Maybe she's got a thing for men looking like Russian bodyguards, although I've heard he's never quite managed to be that hard. Talking of hard, I hope he's well prepared for his wedding night. Let's hope he stays sober and the performance isn't shy. Whilst performing our rehearsal last night, the vicar gave me quite a fright. He said the bride always comes last. I suggest to the Barnes in for 5 minutes after you take off her pants. I wish them both all the best for the rest of their lives together. I bet Dave thinks Emma should have done better. The end.